Hey, this is Grady with another HeroClix video review. As most of you know, I do love Hulk. I'm trying to collect all of them, and I am only 3 away. And I know for a fact I'm going to be getting all 3 within the next 2 weeks. Woohoo! Just something, a little bit of something in there for that. But this time I'm going to be reviewing 2 of Tony Stark's biggest failures that could have been so awesome in the comics, and I really like the figs for them. So here they are: Hulkbuster and Thorbuster. Hulk being the one on the right, and Thor being the one on the left. I really like both the sculpt on both of these. I think they're very, very detailed, which I can really appreciate. You can pretty much see every little panel. There's not really any battle damage unless you count the blackness and some of the creases, but I think that's just supposed to be shadows. But it looks really nice. This one is a little harder to see the detail because they didn't put any shading on it like they did on that one that I just pointed out. And the black and stuff. But nevertheless, he looks pretty awesome. If you notice, they actually have similar stances. The only difference being his arm is in and his arm is extended. But they're both about ready to punch somebody in the face. And the bad thing for them is the person they're about ready to punch in the face actually punches harder than they do. The biggest thing I'm going to let's just start out with the Hulkbuster, since I'm actually a little bit more familiar with the Hulkbuster. If you didn't know, in the comics, this obviously is a suit built to kill the Hulk that Tony Stark makes. I guess he just makes a suit as physically strong as possible, as resistant to damage as possible, just for a chance at defeating the Hulk. Obviously, he fails because you can't beat the Hulk. But he tries. He fails. I don't care. I don't like Tony Stark at all. I like Iron Man. Don't like Tony Stark. It's complicated. But nevertheless, it's a good figure. I always really like the names that they give their powers on their cards. Like, they don't just say energy explosion or super strength. Like flight stabilizers, camouflage mode, weapons as big as the fight, magneto hydraulic musculature, and then energy explosion. Stupid. Exo armor, impact resistant carbon composites, modular armor, Hulkbuster, and Iron Fist. So yeah, the flight stabilizers is charge and running shot. Hulk is adjacent to a giant character, or Hulkbuster is adjacent to a giant character only when he is within 1 square of it. So it cancels out the a giant figure's extra square of adjacency. Camouflage mode is stealth. Weapons as big as the fight is energy explosion and super strength, which is pretty good because if you're fighting someone who uses the Hulk, you definitely want to get to the weapons before they do, or get to the items before they do, because this guy doesn't pack a particularly large amount of base damage. His base damage never breaks 3, actually, which is kinda, I don't care. It's good and bad. I mean, 3 is a good number on one hand because he can still break invulnerability and impervious and still get a damage in, but on the other hand, it's just not a whole lot of damage for something built to beat the Hulk. But I guess that's why he lost. And then he gets super strength and energy explosion individually down the dial instead of having them both at the same time. Impervious for 3 clicks, invuln for 3, and then toughness for 3. Exploit weakness for 2. gets exploit weakness and close combat expert. Kind of thick. I mean, not terrible. I'm not a big fan of the Hulkbuster. I actually prefer the Thorbuster over the Hulkbuster. I prefer the Hulk over the Hulkbuster because whenever Hulk sets out to bust someone, he generally does so with a low chance of fail. Okay, so that's enough about the Hulkbuster. Now that's the Thorbuster, which is, as you may know, the chase figure for the newest set. Oh, by the way, Hulkbuster is 9 clicks deep, so not bad. He only starts out with 10 attack, and he eventually drops to an 8 though, so I don't like it. But he's a chase figure. This guy is, not Hulkbuster. From Hammer Thor. You pulled him if you pull a God Pack, which I posted. So if you got a God Pack, that's what yours looks like. One of the main reasons I like him more than I like Hulkbuster is because he was actually, I mean, in the comics, of course, both were designed to be their, designated busters, or bustees. But on the click, there's nothing really about this character that just, screams, I'm built to bust the Hulk. Besides, super strength and running shot. If you move in on a Hulk with him, he's pretty much going to get tore up. Exploit weakness is nice in the beginning, but not really, because most Hulks start out with without a defense power. So it's kind of a waste of a couple clicks. You hit him for 3, you were going to hit him for 3 anyway, and you probably just knocked him onto his best click on the dial. So and then this guy, though, I love him because he is built to bust Thor. His defensive power, his defensive white box, gives him toughness and makes him immune to running shot. He's just not affected by it. Other characters using running shot, quake, and energy explosion deal no damage to Thorbuster. And most Thors, if not every Thor, has at least running shot. I know a lot have quake and a lot have energy explosion. I can't think of any right now that have all 3, but I can guarantee every Thor has one of those. So they're not going to be dealing any damage with any of that crap. He's got running shot, 11 attack with pulse wave, and pulse wave is nice. Ignoring team abilities and regular powers and stuff. Force blast, energy explosion himself, and then he eventually gets steel energy, which isn't bad. He never drops below 3 damage. He starts at 4 with 18 defense and 11 attack. He eventually loses the immunity power though, but he goes from toughness to impervious. So in my eyes, that's a fair trade whenever you get hit for 4. If he takes 4 damage, so they'd have to be smacking him for 5 to knock him completely off of that white box power, because it also comes with toughness. And that's something else that, makes him good at fighting Thor. Another one is to fight a god. When he can use exploit weakness first off, and when Thorbuster attacks a character that has Asgardian or deity keywords, he gets +2 to his damage. He as well is 9 clicks deep. So both very nice figures. I just like him a little more because he's a little more comic accurate. But other than that, both very nice. I just wish that they would have either made him 160, of course, hindsight 2020, or him 135, because right now he is 165 and 140, and that's 5 points over a 300-point team. So that kind of makes me upset. But both very good figures, both very usable, versatile. That's about it. Go get them.